so I'm R3DninjaJOSH. Tired, but we have a great game for you right now. Shinobi Legends, another Sega Saturn masterpiece after you saw So in the first night. And this one has a little bit something else going for it. If you saw it on the schedule, you'll see all cutscene % after it. Truthfully, the only way to play this game. So on that note, let's get this going because it's going to be a roller coaster of emotion. So I'm ready on countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So when Josh says that this is a game, what he really means is it's an experience.
Live action experience.
Yeah, you know, like these visual novels and stuff. This is kind of like it. But
First cutscene.
yeah.
This is in-game footage right here. He's actually putting in inputs right now. Yeah, not so much. I mean, this loading screen is probably more relevant gameplay.
Welcome to Saturn. Loading a lot. All right, so basic mechanics in this game is that it looks like it plays like cardboard. It actually doesn't. It's pretty smooth, except for the double jump feature. You have a specific time in the once you get to the top of your jump to be able to actually double jump over something. And another thing is, if you're familiar with Shinobi games from not Saturn, but normal Genesis, you have the run by double tapping forward. But you have to always do that in those games whenever you land on the ground.
Are we just glancing over what just happened?
So that's a power-up. We're going to be grabbing a couple of those throughout the couple levels. I found that they speed up the boss actually a good amount. So obviously everybody wants to kill me. So
but this hanging out in the background on those mountains, by the way, with his 10 symbol.
Saturn, really cool thing. We're cutting trees down in this game. Like that. Just had to show that off. So that big giant thing that I'm casting, it goes on screen. It happens whenever you have a sword swipe. Enemies can get stuck in that animation. I want to try to avoid that because you do more, but not like that. But you can see what the damage output is, but kind of swing away like I just did. But it doesn't really matter. It's just you get a lot more damage if you just hit him with your sword than that thing. Even if it locks him, it doesn't matter. First boss down.
It's a pretty sweet kaboom.
Oh yeah, the little fragments that come off and everything. It's pretty.
Get your finger off of that start button.
I mean, it was tempting, but all right, everybody, get your popcorn.
The first step to becoming a ninja, get shoulder pads from a football player. Step 2, put on white sneakers. Step 3, sword.
Step 4.
You have to get the glare down too as a ninja. That too. You know that aggressive hit. And also, becoming a ninja, your rival has to always be the opposite color.
Sub-Zero mythologies.
Oh, that's next time.
Bonus points for wearing masks.
Well, they have to wear masks, otherwise you'd see that it's the same guy. Same two guys I've ever seen.
Ooh. Popping collars here.
All right.
Listen, the prop budget was extensive for this, much more than the amount that they could pay the actors.
I think the budget was like $15.
Can we get a conversion to yen at the time that this game was released?
All right, so this is just a vertical level. We're just going to be climbing up, slash people in half. Really annoying level because of that double jump feature I was talking about earlier. But the only reason that we're really actually playing this fast is so we can get to the cutscenes quicker.
So another big thing about this game, kind of from some of the other Shinobi games, in the other Shinobi games, a lot of the times you'll see that shurikens are a much more relevant attack. But since your sword is so good in this game, you can actually use that quite a bit more, and your shuriken use is actually extremely limited in this game.
Also,
some pretty specific things.
Since Saturn is so horrible when you use your shuriken, it just lags unbelievably. So we just try to avoid that at all costs.
I think you're mistaken. You were clearly trying to say that Saturn is an amazing console and has all the hardware power in the world.
Hey, everybody here's loved the Saturn so far. I just made that up. I don't know.
So a different, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into this boss.
Yeah, so mostly a big attack thing that you're going to see me doing throughout the game is the DuckTales stab. So you can just pretty much pogo anywhere in this game. But once again, huge damage output by not casting that thing on him like that. Wow, what a jerk.
Learned from Scrooge Miyamoto himself.
I don't think Miyamoto wants anything to do with this game.
So we have to hit the heads, explode them, and then that dude I just cut in half came back. Because that's just totally what happens. So I take my time and this jump away to try not to have that thing cast. I'd rather just beat it a little slower than normal, but it's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of stuck thinking because, like, you know, a lot of alliteration in Disney, like Donald Duck and stuff. So what would if they had a version of, like, the Duck universe, like,
Would
What
this
would
be
it
it?
look like?
Daimyo Duck? He just has, like, a small plot of land that
Duckburg.
he...
Alright, so also another thing about becoming a ninja is you have to run through a lot of hallways. Specifically like that.
It's a very nice ninja run, too.
It is, you know, arm forward, arm backwards like this.
Yeah. Much more dignified than the Naruto run.
Jits.
They created echoes throughout that entire building using a TV that was turned off. I mean, that takes some planning.
I mean, the
he
technology
had to-
then was so advanced.
I mean, it doesn't look like
Yeah.
there's a receiver here at all, so this guy had to anticipate what he thought he was going to say when for his responses.
You gotta appreciate the existence of
That
TVs
glare
in ancient
again.
Japan.
yeah.
Yeah, there's not really a power outlet in that room.
No. Alright, so another level that we're going to run through to get to an amazing cutscene, probably one of my favorites. Past this guy, jump up here. If you go down there, it's just an alternate path that blocks you. You have to come back.
There's an important parallel drawn in this stage, I believe, too, that links this world to the extensive Land Before Time.
It
right?
does, yes, yes, yes.
So if you've ever wondered, there is a canon link between Land Before Time and Shinobi.
You're about to see it.
Which probably explains the lizard man or whatever these are.
Then there's Littlefoot.
Oh.
Really angry, mutated Littlefoot. He drank the juice that the turtles did to become mutant. So, just worked out in the wrong
Strong
way.
relief.
Sadly, that's the last time we see him.
Gone but not forgotten. Taken from us far too early. About your sick Nippon steel. You know what? It's important that in your advanced secret genetics lab, you just have batches of grass just sitting on the ground.
Patches of dry grass.
Yeah, that's really important. It's probably died because of all the chemical processes, right? Where'd this guy go? And I'm probably going to die here because this guy always kills me. He's kind of a jerk.
This is what happens when small mice eat genetically modified food. They turn into demons. Oh gosh. There's fart gas coming out.
Yeah, that's what happens when you slice that enemy in half.
So we kind of got cut off before we got to talk about it. You were talking about how you have a double jump, which is very typical of this style of game. but you actually get a run as well, which is not very typical of Shinobi games. We'll cover that in a moment.
Yeah, because this is my favorite.
Ninja run.
Cue fire extinguishers.
Cardboard.
What was in this factory?
Yeah.
We just produced empty cardboard boxes.
Yeah, that's actually what this factory does.
Oh, that guy's dead. He's actually just dead.
They went all out on real.
Here's Josh's favorite.
Yeah, so good. That delay is just amazing. And apparently, manufacturing empty cardboard boxes is really toxic.
Apparently that they couldn't afford another ninja outfit, so this guy just has
Just
a
a
school
gas
uniform.
Yeah, and a gas mask. Because remember, it's all the same guy. Random scaffold in this place. I mean, this area is amazing. And we got more cardboard. Perfectly placed,
Oh,
too.
my boxes. My cardboard boxes.
Oh, yo, that death face.
And it's like, ah, this is comfy.
Yeah, and then he's just a legit falling asleep. Of course, she's gone. Look at those shackles, man. Those are beefed up. Some heavy metal.
But yeah, you get a sweet run. That's pretty important. You also get a running attack, which is somewhat useful.
Yes.
Because it does have a big recovery, right? Which is kind of an
like
issue.
that. And you get a nice slide to it. I think some moves actually do a little bit more damage too. The double jump, or the run by double tapping is pretty annoying because my D-pad caves into the right. So
These guys all have great plans for hitting you.
apparently this is just where they house all these guys. So see what we mean by the DuckTales.
Some sick iframes, by the way.
Yeah, this guy's kind of a jerk.
So while you actually do take a fair amount of damage inside of this stage, regardless if you get hit by the traps, just some enemies have kind of rough attack patterns. There are a few life ups inside of here, aren't there? That
Yeah,
you get as part of the mini boss clearing.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's one right over here that I'm gonna grab just to be careful. Casually, I played this game and it is okay. That was cool.
Okay, well, that was.
It's hard.
And I mean, this level is really, we mentioned kind of the stiff control to get the double jump. This is where the game, you have to be using the double jump and the wall jump, so like you have to get used to that very quickly, or you're just never going to succeed.
We're gonna do something like this. Hey, I'm so glad I grabbed that health. Oh, really? Okay.
I'd like to mention that's basically all trial and error, by the way, to know where those traps are.
Yes. It's pretty brutal. Another thing to mention about this game on a serious note, the music's really good. They
Get
actually
that rockin' tune during the full motion video also.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just quality all around. It's the
Nothing
best.
says Japanese culture like, 70s and 80s rock.
Yeah. Well, fun fact that when they actually brought it over to Europe, they renamed it and redid the music because they didn't like the music that was originally in it. And in my opinion, it's actually not.
Oh yeah, Europe hates ninjas
And ninja music, apparently.
historically.
As a European can confirm.
All right, so this is just the Aghanim fight. So.
There's even blue balls.
Oh, another thing to mention is that screens are extremely deep in these games. Hopefully later you'll see me fall down a pit and recover because the distance that you could fall is ridiculous. So I grabbed that power up earlier in the level because I don't want to deal with two of these guys and we want to get to the cutscenes. So, I mean, pretty much the only reason I'm playing fast. Because these quality cutscenes. Yeah, it's like movie logic and video game logic in one entertaining disc. You know, nothing makes sense.
It's like, we're getting the heck out of here.
Yeah, by shuffling away.
That guy just killed that guy just killed 2 magicians. I don't even have one single magician with me.
Not anymore.
Note on it. It's like, note on it. Next time I won't miss.
This is also a really good scene.
Yeah, I mean, Sho didn't really have a great game plan here, did he?
No. Except for the
girl being,
like, awesome.
Yep, pretty much.
But this sword throw, though, look how straight that is.
The electrifying sword throw.
Yeah, and the electrifying sword throw.
He spec'd into that right when he picked up the sword.
So yeah, he rescued her, everything's fine, the end.
It's a very, very tranquil scene where we get to learn about the secret power.
Yes. The ultimate technique, which will be repeated 4 or 5 times.
So what is Kazuma's ambition, Josh?
Do you think I know the story in this game?
Like she just said, to reign over the world.
I'm more mesmerized by their matching moles. Like, that's just some good actor choosing, for sure.
I mean, for all we know,
Combining a man and a woman's inner strength.
for all we know, all these subtitles are bullshit. And they are actually talking about something completely different.
Oh, so there's a big thing there. Her father is master. Whoa.
So, when you combine a woman's pure mind power to control a man's inner strength, the moles combine into a larger mole. And through that mole, there's great power. Limitless power. Celestial power that creates limitless energy.
Cue lights. So it apparently allows you to cut little tiny rocks in half.
That's actually the only function of it.
It's really a zoomed in potato.
Chrono Trigger much?
And also, best, like, what just happened to my leg?
Time for the movie nerds to get super angry about consistency here.
Yes.
So, these guys jump in the water. They escape in the water somehow.
I like how they just throw her, like, too, as she's, like, tangled.
So here's your consistency for you folks. Very gracefully, Sho jumps into the water to take pursuit. In this next level, there's going to be water underneath you. If you fall in that water, you die.
Yeah, you jump out of the water in the beginning level, and then if you fall into it at any point, you're dead. So apparently he could only swim for that specific scene.
Listen, there's only so much you can do with celestial
limitless
energy.
So this is an auto-scroller, but the first thing that I did when I saw that was like, oh, cool, water. And then, yeah, that didn't last long at all. So the big thing is that people are going to pop out here. And, well, I just don't want to get knocked off of this thing. It's a really, really brutal auto-scroller in the sense of sends you no checkpoints, and it's long, too. But
yeah, I give Josh a lot of guff, like why aren't you Wiggletroning and swagging on this auto-scroller? But honestly, if you actually do need to focus.
Every time I do that, I die. So...
And everything's actually pretty structured in how he's approaching these enemies attacking him.
There you go.
I love how they give you like 1 billion health in this, but it's completely irrelevant
Yeah.
because you're going to die from falling off, not from taking damage.
I collect those. If you get 10, you get an extra life. Also, biggest thing that really killed me first time playing this level is that Saturn has 6 buttons, and they are all used as movement tech. So, I mean, every button has a specific thing that it does, and it does well. So, it's actually a pretty decently played game. There's a lot of movement tech that I don't use because I don't need to. But casually, it's really deep game, actually.
I guess another thing to mention that's different from a lot of Shinobi games, you have a block, huh?
Yes, I have
So,
a block,
yeah, that's...
which is really nice for the stage. And what I think is really neat is that you're able to shoot or hit back their kunai. And the neatest thing about that is that block, since it just blocks it and deflects it, falls. If you block while falling, you do that bottom swipe, which I always thought was fascinating because it helps clear anything that's below you. Last thing you want to see me do is pogo on this stage because you instantly die. So it's a really neat alternative to attacking downward, I think.
It's just grabbing all of those blue flames. You're totally winning on points right now.
Well, that's what I'm going for.
Also, I'm pretty sure that's not how suspension works on this thing. Like when it's going up.
It's like solid suspension. There's no springs or anything like that. What are you talking about, man? I'm pretty sure this uses the source engine.
Oh yeah. Where you can just pick stuff up and that's what you're standing on.
That's, I mean, it can't be Unreal because it loads textures too fast.
And you listen to this music and you go, oh, that's pretty awesome. Cool. This is going to be a good boss. No, you're wrong. It's just another auto-scroller. I guess auto-scrollers should be bosses.
So we're essentially going up all the way, we just fell down.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got a couple minutes of downtime if we had any donations or wanted to plug the great cause that we're playing for.
We have a $5 donation from Azzy. That feel when Twitch chat hasn't funded Cluster Truck. Feels bad, man. And if Twitch chat doesn't know, we have a $50 incentive goal for Cluster Truck. We only have $10 of it. It's a very fun speed game. I don't really know how else to describe it. You literally just climb on trucks and it goes very fast. If any of you guys want to talk about that one. Well, here, let me actually go to the...
That guy spent 20 years in ninja college just learning how to...
Just to be sliced in half.
Bombs do 2 damage, so yeah, there's that. Red Ninja, obviously you saw they went to school to throw tons at once. Those just, I don't even know what they do.
I like how they synchronize their death animations all the time, too.
I like how everything just gets sliced in the same way.
The father of all of these ninjas clearly was just like, now listen, should you ever be cut in half by a white shinobi, make sure to die in this pose as you slide apart. That's really the only way that their hazard pay kicks in, I think, is
being sliced in half. Those
guys ate it super hard.
Also, I'm not sure the
That
angle
guy's
of
just
the
like,
slice
what was
lines
your
up.
plan, sir? You just jumped in the doorway.
You could be pinched by these things. I was actually doing timing runs, and I was messing around, and I rolled right into the corner there, and just instant death. It was pretty much at the last end of this part, too. It was pretty great.
Yeah, because you have to do all of this
All over again.
again.
But at least you get, I mean, I think this is pretty good music, so.
I mean, yeah, for elevator music, that's pretty decent.
It's the most intense elevator ride of your life.
If R3DninjaJOSH owned a hotel, this is the music he'd play in his elevators.
The Red Ninja Hotel.
All right, well that guy sucks. So
Red Ninja Hotel, Saturn in every room.
yeah, that's a quality.
Just
hotel
don't ever
right
look at them.
I used the power up there on accident, but that's cool because it doesn't really do anything except for slow things down. But we'll take out those guys.
Get a sweet dragon.
Some lightning inside. That was pretty cool.
So I mean, like, how do you think they get their colors coordinated for this? Are they just assigned a color?
I think
Or,
they're
like, do
assigned.
they get to choose?
I think they're assigned a color.
Did they just mess up their laundry one day on some of them?
Oh man, I have to actually pay attention here.
Because I mean, like, who wants to be the brown ninja? Like, like
What if they did choose and that guy's like, "Brown's my favorite
imagine you
color."
go to your friend's house with a sweet N64 game, and you have like the 4 controllers. And
He's
then
the
your friend's
brown
is like, I want
controller?
to have the brown ninja.
All right, we're done with that.
That
mess.
was a great boss fight.
Yeah, it was a good boss fight. So after this,
I mean, you already have the high score, so I mean, we've already accomplished a small miracle there.
we always could get higher scores. So
You got time for another donation?
Sure.
Actually, let's watch this cutscene.
okay.
This match.
Oh, don't lie. You just wanted to see the cutscene.
そうもはやお前に勝ち目はない最終王座はもう俺の手の内だからな
She's like super drugged or something. Like, so she had to have walked onto stage there, but she's just unconscious in their arms also.
She's probably just very tired from being kidnapped all the time.
She's probably very tired from drowning in that water that they just
Yeah, just
threw her
threw
in.
in. That's really exhausting. You guys could pump out that donation.
Yeah. So we got a $40 donation from Quarty Up the Pie. Hello from back of the audience. I didn't stay up for, until this time to not see Twitch messing with the cluster truck run. Make it so. And we did.
Yo, Cluster Truck is pretty sick, actually. I've only caught, like, little bits and pieces of it, but that game looks pretty sweet. I mean, that's honestly one of my favorite things about these events is just, like, you know, you want to watch your favorite games, but even just tuning in, like, every once in a while, just kind of seeing some of the oddities out there.
There's some really good things that you could always see. It's, you know, if a game sounds weird, never pass it by, for sure. So I picked up that power-up just because I'm going to get hit a lot on this level, and we don't want to get hit normally because we'll fly down these giant pits. Once again, like, these levels are really deep. When I first casually went through this, oh man, the amount of times that I fell in these pits was unbelievable. But the fact that you could recover from after falling for what feels like 4 minutes is pretty interesting.
Speaking of deep pits, when are we gonna get to see some sweet Jurassic Park action? With
Oh,
you
it's
shooting a pterodactyl with a grenade launcher.
It's coming. All right, so I want to see some Keanu Reeves PogChamps in chat because that's what I believe this guy looks like. If Cure, buddy, Archie, dude, if you're here, man, you know what to do. So we're just pretty much going to try to get this guy in a loop. Most of his attacks do 2 damage. I still have a shield, so we're good. But I've always, you know, surprised myself in how bad I could be sometimes.
Can you imagine being this guy and they're like, hey, we need you to sit in the middle of this sweltering jungle for hours. Hopefully the guy comes by this part.
Yeah, I mean, that's deep jungle
Like, he
right
could have
there.
went to any of those mountains. Then what would he have done? He would have just been sitting there practicing his spin kicks.
Well, they're some good spin kicks though.
I mean, what doesn't tell you that there's one of these guys on each of these mountains?
Yeah, I mean, they could have a huge amount of money, you know, to spill. You know, how is he willing to really shot? Oh, that was awful. There's a 2-hit.
I know that's not the case because, like I said, there's still only 2 actors. So there can only be 2 of those guys on the mountains.
That's a great start, just losing 1 HP.
I just wanted to see more Keanu Reeves pog shoot.
This guy loves his spin kicks.
He really does.
I mean, he also loves being evil.
He's good at stuff. Hey, maybe he loves being out here too. Maybe he chose it. Remember, some people choose their ninja colors. Maybe he chose where he wanted to be located. This game has all sorts of possible outcomes of what things is what's going on.
I don't know. Given the choice between choosing to go, I don't know, to a factory or choosing to go to get Montezuma's revenge in the middle of the jungle, I'd probably stick to the factory.
But
I mean, then again, maybe you get eaten by Littlefoot.
So he goes nuclear when you kill him, for some odd reason.
But only after he got sliced in half.
Yeah, so I mean, that's key. I think they all considered, like, hey, this is how we're going to do it. Get sliced in half. You can do it your own way, but you have to get sliced in half.
Have the top half slide off.
気がついたか。
Smug.
勝間。
お前が最終奥義の鍵だったとは一切もうまく隠した。
これで手に入れたつもり？
何？
あなたは最終奥義が何なのかまるで分かってない。日の流れはあなたの思う以上に繊細なものなのよ。身余る力をもてあそんだ末にバランスを失い、自分自身を滅ぼすことになるわ。
言いたいことはそれだけか。最終奥義は俺のものだ。俺が手に入れる。
He's like, I forgot my line.
Yeah. Just shut it down.
Dramatic pause.
Save me, please. And then just come in from the side.
Cue ninjas to shut it down. Alright, so this level also really horrible casually. I'm going to be jumping between these boats. Once again, we know he could only swim for that one moment in time. There's nothing to grapple on. If you fall, you just die. And if you double jump, which you have to do to make most of these platform jumps, you can't see underneath you. So you're just going for it. But
I mean, you would think that those like football pads would be pretty buoyant also.
maybe they just absorb water and
They're just sponges.
Just sink him. Alright, there's a checkpoint, just in case if I die here. There's an actual way to go through this whole entire section while running. It's just super sketchy.
Yeah, a big part of this game and running it is honestly just not dying is a big part of it. Like, there's just so many ways that things can go terribly wrong.
Like there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the checkpointing is not great. It's not great.
But at least it's not an auto-scroller back to the beginning, so. But we're still good because I'm going to die. And definitely on the level coming up, you'll see.
This one type of boat seems to be very popular. In this
Well,
area.
there's you get the...
Sorry, two. There's two.
Yeah, there's two. These are the shop boats, I think. That jump is always ridiculous. They set it up so that you have to run, double jump, and slice while coming down because he's going to hit you with his kunai and you're just going to go in the water and die.
That's that whole breaking 20 boxes. The Saturn didn't handle that so well.
Got some Street Fighter in there to get a power up.
Oh, my car.
jump and avoid getting hit. Breaking those boxes, we're going to see that happen again. The instant chug of the Saturn, just going stop.
It's majestic.
The beautiful slowdown.
Too many boxes.
We actually have people running fire control right now. They are approaching the Saturn with fire extinguishers.
Alright, so
Bags of ice are being distributed.
this should be pretty straightforward. There's two ways I could hit him. He's going to do that after it for a set amount of time. I want him to blow fire because then I can get 2 hits. Actually, I just lied. I just made that up. But yeah, you could generally get 2 hits off of him then, and that's ideal. Like that. Alright, Turbo, I'm not hearing enough jokes.
I mean, this guy's already making enough of a joke of himself right now.
You can just do it for him. Alright, so...
Have you ever been so mad at an opposing ninja that you just spat fire at him somehow?
Just swiped your whatever this is in his face.
And then
gotta
do
get
that.
his rave practice going.
I mean,
Hey,
Wait,
wait a
you-
minute. He
you
did
can't-
not get sliced in half.
you can't take the guy seriously when the first time you see him, he grabs a boulder and breaks it on his face.
Listen, okay?
I mean, that's aggressive.
Listen, I can't pay attention to that over the fact of how expensive those huge gold dragons must have been.
That's where the budget went.
The budget went into those force fields.
It was all a Ponzi scheme. There was no ninja training for the guards. It all went to these gold statues.
So you had to pay to be a ninja.
のホールは企画を貫き
Is there a,
Ninja to get killed.
is there a ninja pyramid
お前の
scheme?
エネルギーを誘い水にして犬の気を吹き出させ俺がそれをものにする
Or we're not even mentioning the budget on the laser field right here.
敵の力が手に入れば何でも構わん
Why does this guy get a sick crown? Oh, he gets a headband with spikes on it.
I think if you cut out so many proof of purchases off of his favorite box of cereal, they send it to you.
Maybe that's just the European version of the spike crown.
Yeah.
The PAL version.
So remember how Sho has the ultimate technique, and he was just friendly, just nice, you know. This guy's trying to like pull something that she just shared with him. It's just weird. He's trying way too hard. This is a little awful because we love birds, right? And they just are amazing in games where you don't want to get hit. There's a lot of birds up here, which is unbelievable because the Saturn lags when I throw like kunai in the air, but yet it doesn't lag when there's 50 birds on screen,
Priorities, man.
apparently.
But
He's never
birds
gonna use this
are
move,
the
man.
natural predator of the speedrun in any speedrun.
I mean, the Saturn has like 25 chips in it. Maybe one of them is a bird accelerator chip.
There's the Saturn, the watch beyond the Saturn. All right, here we go. So we're just gonna run through here and not fall. Ninja birds, we're calling them ninja birds. But yeah, they're just, I mean,
What mysterious vendetta did these birds have against Sho? That they're just attacking en masse.
I want to know how much they got paid.
Who are you working for, birds?
All right. He's,
Is that an ogre?
yes, yes.
It's like, forget this. I'm just making a dragon.
Yeah, that's what I felt like doing right now. Oh, that was cool. That really worked.
The best part
That's
about
just a
this
great
too
plan.
is like he literally just killed like 3 or 4 birds and just instantly like 4 more spawned.
Yeah, it's the whole Tremor 2 philosophy.
This is basically a video game adaptation of Birdemic right now.
Hey, there's your character.
What, you guys missed the ninja character in that movie? Watch it again.
right, checkpoint. Falling platform is always awesome. Falling platforms that you can't see when you jump. Oh, that's
all right, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
as long as
we lost a billion life, but we didn't die. So again, like not dying is paramount. Yeah, this stage. That. Okay, let's. I'll hold my comment until after this.
What was that? A laser.
Get murked.
Dude. So he usually always shoots the ceiling. That way, and it was just like dead shot in the face.
Kazuma's like, why did I do that in the first place?
Yeah.
Just shoot him with a gun. Behold, your antagonist for Terminator 4.
And there we go. Now you really get to see it because just like Terminator. You know, I was de-rusting this the other day. De-rusting. And then I saw that animation. It kind of looked like he does a dance when he goes down on the ground. Got those white kicks on.
ついに見つけたぞ。
I mean, what would you wear?
無事でいてくれ。
Probably those. I'm just surprised how clean they are still.
Just gator skinned boots.
With the sharp tip at the end.
Wow, the ultimate power is really lame. It just gives me a pink hand.
It makes me all drowsy.
何を言う。指図をするな。
Don't give him odors now.
Yeah, odors.
Listen, proofreading's hard, okay?
These graphics, though.
So I didn't want to mention anything before that, but even at 2 deaths on the previous stage, that might actually be the best stage 8 I think I've seen at a marathon.
It's
It's like that stage just is notorious for killing people like left and right. So that went actually quite well, even given the 2 deaths.
and this
Oh,
one's
these things
really
just
fun.
kill you instantly, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I remember.
they just explode in your
slow-moving,
face
yeah.
and just kill you instantly. And you know since the double jump mechanic was so good, they have to implement it in these sections. Most impossible thing ever. I'm gonna, if I don't die here, it's gonna be pretty impressive. It's not like if you go faster or anything, they're just on set cycles. There's nothing you can do about it. Except for the fact, like, where am I? That's what I want to know. Like, what kind of... yeah, they always look like that. I've learned to unclench when I'm doing these moves now. Hey, let's throw in another gimmick.
Hey, you know this thing that you've never seen before? Do it while this thing's about to kill you
Yeah.
instantly. So apparently this factory produces enormous bombs that move very slowly, ninjas, and jump platforms. But only that one jump platform. That's still in the beta testing phase.
And it doesn't even propel you upwards.
The absurdity of 2D space with a 3D space is quite prevalent in this. Where you could literally just like take a couple steps to the side and let the thing pass.
You have to jump on those, so...
Yeah.
obviously, with that big jump that they told you.
Yeah, that forces you to kind of give yourself a little bit of breathing room also when it comes to, like, you can't just rush these stages because you know you have to jump in order to activate the platform as well.
And if you stand up underneath those things, you die.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's the last cutscene before the final boss, which is all those lives could disappear pretty quickly.
しっかりしろ。ここはもう危ない。立てるか。
Can you walk? She's barely awake.
今こそ最終奥義をクズマの暴走を止めて
Didn't the other guy just take it?
Dreamweaver just starts playing.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like when you get the ultimate technique. So I'm pretty sure they're seeing that.
This is very different and very horrifying compared to what I was led to believe.
Yeah, it's just
It's his face. Just.
Doesn't even have to deal with a glowing hand either.
Listen, he's trying his hardest to have a menacing laugh.
It's just like not menacing at all. It's just like somebody just told a joke in the background and they recorded it. Finding my hat. This thing is huge.
You did pretty well finding my hideout with absolutely no leads.
Yeah.
It was impressive how you went from the mountainous jungle to, like, somehow bomb base. Or whatever this is, I guess.
Follow the trail of ninjas, I guess.
Come to the dark side.
No, this is like some serious aggressive music.
Do you really think you can defeat him, Josh?
Hopefully. I mean,
Oh man, he brought the mask up. That's like when you
Yeah.
turn the hat backwards.
I like that one.
You
The
know?
mask's already up, but they just make him move his hand really quickly and then pull it down. All right, so this is the final boss, and he is actually he could be a huge jerk. We're just gonna try to get him stuck in a loop. Hope for the best.
Stuck in a pattern.
The problem is I have to keep on jumping and getting closer to him every time because sometimes you won't be able to hit the orbs that he drops. If I lose it right now, he does a giant, powerful attack, and it's pretty ridiculous. Unblockable. It just takes tons of time, and that's time. 48. Yeah, that's actually pretty decent.
Still got some cutscenes to go.
Yes, we still have some cutscenes.
Yo, the Buddha though.
Yeah.
I hear he's top tier in Fight of the Gods. He's got some sick infinites and close-up pressure. Although Jesus does have that crouch jab infinite though. So. Just more quality games being talked about during this cutscene.
I'm disappointed he didn't get sliced in half.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually a really clean boss fight. So,
Well, I mean, if he got cut in half, this next scene would be pretty awkward.
right.
It would be way more interesting.
Actually, it'd probably make sense, you know. So out of everything, that's the one thing they thought about, is that not slicing him in half at the end because they have to have the cutscene.
This was meticulously crafted. Excuse me.
The plot twist.
Oh man.
Aren't Listen, we don't point those out. That's
もう時間がない立てるか兄さんも
Everybody get your tissues out, man. It's pretty, it's tough.
逃げられやせんさだがまだ助かる道がないわけではない
Just one way out of here.
ショーお前の技は見事だった兄さん
So why is this place blowing up?
Apparently he's tied to it, maybe?
So why didn't he recognize his brother earlier?
But
I just-
why would it? But he just used all his power to shield him. He would
Yeah.
have been totally fine otherwise.
Yeah, I love how it's
Just unrelated self-destruct sequence.
there's only one way out of here. Unlimited power.
He just casted that Quan Chi magic.
And I also love how it shows just like thinks like he's like, oh, I can get you out of here, and then cowers when he actually casts the shield. Another thing is I don't think this has anything to do with actual Shinobi games because it's Joe Musashi, and then this one it's Sho. So I don't know if it was a translation or not. But
Listen, there's a very twisted path that the Shinobi games take.
that's very true. Look at that rebar. See, that place is huge. You found it.
カズマが守ってくれなかったら
俺たちは
Rebar's in ancient
跡形
Japan.
もなくなっていた
Get tons of rebar.
Apparently, this factory was entirely made of rebar.
Yeah. So they produced.
And these stones.
ショー
Man, how long did it take them to find that sword?
Yeah, through all the rebar. I'm still waiting for the prequel, to be honest.
The fall of Kazuma.
And that's Shinobi Legends. If you really wanted to know about who was acting in this, because you really appreciated their acting technique, here you go. But other than that, it's early in the morning. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. You guys are gonna donate, and then I'm gonna go sleep. So thanks for having me, and Turbo and Headerizer on the couch. It was a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed the ridiculous cutscenes, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. There's a lot of good stuff coming up today. Have a good day.